Welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave, where today is a bittersweet day because I'm saying goodbye, farewell to my beloved, mighty Chevy Volt. This is a 2015 that I purchased just about 6 months ago with 142,900 miles on it. I've put around 2,500 miles on this vehicle. And a viewer named Robert is actually coming here he's going to meet him down in Stamford today, and he's going to be picking it up. Now, this is a guy that knows EVs, and he also knows Volts. So I'd be real curious to hear his impressions as to why he's actually, this is going to be his son's college car. So I'm really psyched about that. Amazing vehicle. It's kind of weird how I really have loved this little Volt. And it's so inexpensive. With that said, I'm going to go have a little breakfast. I just had the car washed. We're going to be making a little farewell video today. So let's get into it. All right, so here it is. This is the last year of the first generation of the Volt. The only downside that I could see from this little car is that it requires premium fuel. Now, for all of you who say the downside is it requires fuel, period. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point of these plug-in hybrids. You know, my daughter, Katie, she just bought a Jeep Wrangler 4xe, and it's gorgeous. It's incredible. It's plug-in hybrid. And that thing's got, I don't know, maybe like 20 miles of electric-only range. And while that's nice for a little around town, do you know that when this car came out, it had EPA-rated electric-only range of 38 miles? Well, last night I plugged this car in and juiced it all the way up, and you know what it shows? 39 miles of electric-only range and over 220 miles of estimated range for fuel, gas, I should say. So what a great vehicle. I mean, I have used this car as my daily driver pretty much every day since I bought it, because you may remember that when I bought my Model X, Kyle took it for a while. So it was out in Colorado for 3 months or so, and I needed a car. So rather than rent cars or borrow one of his, I decided, you know, let me explore the whole plug-in hybrid thing. And that's where I got this car. And then someone said to me, "Oh, Dave, what about the Cadillac ELR?" And I was like, "What is that?" And so, you know, anyway, you can go back and watch the videos. I wish someone hadn't said to me about that Cadillac ELR. So I ended up owning two of these, if you will, sort of Volt architecture cars, because that really was just a, you know, basically the Cadillac was really the same technology as this car. But boy, I'll tell you what, this thing is super reliable. This was a cream puff. It still is a cream puff. 140, almost 148,500 miles on it. This was a one-owner car. It was up in Albany, New York. It was owned by a nurse who really took care of this car. And I think it's about 60% of the miles that are on this car were all electric. So when you think about the engine itself that's in this car, and she did proper oil changes on it and all that, it really was taken care of. And the engine itself has far fewer miles on it than 148,500 miles, of course. So, you know, not an especially fast car, but the use case for a plug-in hybrid, I think, makes a lot of sense. Now, when I was over in Europe last week, I rented the Nissan Qashqai, which is, I think, a mild hybrid. It's not a plug-in, but what it does is it uses the gas engine as a generator, much in the same way, let's say, the i3 does as well. But imagine that without a plug. And it's got a 2.1 kilowatt hour battery pack in that thing. And, you know, it's kind of cool technology, but I believe this has a 17.5 kilowatt hour battery pack in it and 39 miles of estimated range. Now, to be honest, in the wintertime when I was driving it, it would only show about 25 miles of indicated range. But my commute from here in Darien down to Stamford is only 6 miles, 7 miles one way. So I was able to drive this thing even in the wintertime for 2 or 3 days, no problem, without having to plug it in. And then when I would get home, I would just plug it into the level 2 at home. And I was driving this car pretty much the whole time without actually using the gas engine at all. I think I put gas in this car maybe 3 or 4 times since I've owned it, over 2,500 miles. And it was painful. The other day, I put, it was $35 at the pump, and I took 8 gallons, 7.9 gallons of gas. I think I paid almost $5 a gallon. It was crazy. So, but you know, one of the things that I'll probably do is explore a little bit of a different topic, a topic on this plug-in hybrid for pickup trucks, which I'm real excited about with this new Dodge that's going to be coming out, because, you know, towing and pickup trucks for pure EV is a real challenge. And I think the use case for this Chevy Volt is stronger now today for certain applications than it ever has been. It's a shame that Chevrolet, GM, killed this car. The Voltec technology that's in this vehicle is tremendous. And I remember, many of you know, you've seen the other videos, I remember when Kyle and I came off test track, GM's test track down at Epcot years and years ago, and they dumped you into the showroom there, and there this car was. It was a prototype Volt. And we're like, what is that? An electric car? And so technically this car was sold as an EV because the gas engine acts as a generator and it doesn't actually put power to the wheels directly. But here's the little hidden fact. I think GM, maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think GM pulled the wool over a lot of people's eyes, meaning the government's, to have it qualify back in the day for the $7,500 federal tax credit, because over 70 miles an hour, this thing actually sends power to the wheels directly from the engine, not from the battery pack. And I've done my research on that, and I've experienced it as well. So it's kind of a very sophisticated gearing mechanism. It's I think they call it a planetary gearing mechanism, I think. And it's a really sophisticated way of deciding where do I take the energy from the battery pack or from the engine. But for the most part, this is a vehicle that is getting its power directly from the battery, and the Voltec energy is the Voltec mechanism that I'll show you right here under the hood. It actually decides where to send the power, and it takes the energy from the gas engine. Now the thing is, that when GM designed this car, the idea was, okay, today the gas engine is the right proper power plant to propel this, to put the energy into the battery, into the Voltec system. But maybe someday it will be diesel. Maybe someday it will be, you know, natural gas. Who the heck knows? Hydrogen. And so that's the way that GM designed this in a modular capacity, so that they could actually take this platform and have it be used, depending on whatever way they wanted to power the battery. And that was a really smart thing. So, you know, listen, we've got a lot of technology here that unfortunately was retired by GM, in my opinion, way too soon. So as a next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this car on my normal commute. The last time, I'm going to be meeting Robert down where, right near where I work. And one last commute, we'll actually then get Robert's opinion about this car. We'll do the transaction, and then we'll call it a video. So let's have some fun. All right, so as we get on 95 South here, doing my typical commute, we got a hitchhiker over there. What's going on with that? I don't know. I don't pick up hitchhikers. I don't think anything good can come out of that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. With all the Ubers and Lyfts in the world today, hitchhiking? I don't know. All right, so we're on 95 heading south. Over here on the left is the Darien Apple Green Center, where they have CCS chargers and also These are my hometown V3s for Tesla. But we're talking about the Volt today, and you know, this has been such a great car. I think this car, it doesn't even need FSD. It knows where it's going. You know, it just goes this way every day. The only difference is today is Sunday and it's early in the morning, and there's really no commute or traffic. Normally when I'm commuting, this is like stop and go, stop and go. This car does not have one pedal driving, which is something that I wish it did have, but it doesn't. And it comes to like almost to a stop. Now that you got drive mode and you've got low mode. Now when you put low mode on, you feel regen, which is pretty cool, but not a lot of regen. So I pulled into the Darien supercharger southbound side here, because you never know what you're going to find, right? You never know. And so here we got a Tesla pulling in, and you got this Toyota that's RAV4 that's like right on them, upset. Look at that. Nice courtesy. Another Tesla pulling in. But look at this. We got a minivan icing. We got a minivan icing a Tesla spot. Completely ignorant to the fact that these are, you know, I know he's walking his dog, but that is not where you park. So, I mean, he's just standing there. I guess if it gets full, he'll move. But, you know, there's so many parking spots right over here. What are you doing? And speaking of over here, we've got the two CCS Apple Greens. Let's just see if they're on, if they're available. Yeah, they're both seemingly available. Yeah. So we got that. But anyway, you know, it's just crazy to me that people, they don't have any idea. I guess they just don't understand. All right, back on the road. Let me give it the full beans. Whoa. Yeah, no. Look, this is not a 0 to 60. This is a very cool little commuter car. Super reliable, very inexpensive. At least now, I think they're great. And you know what's interesting is I have not found many, if anyone, who's had a bad thing to say about this Chevy Volt. In fact, there's like a whole community. One day I was on this commute. Now you can see there's no traffic here at all. I was on the same commute. I saw two Volts in the same day, and they both waved to me. And I was like, that's cool. There's like a Volt etiquette here going on. So I loved it. But, you know, listen, there's the drive mode, which is either D or L. L does give you a little bit of regen. And then there's beyond the drive mode in the actual gear selector, there's also a drive mode on the dash, which allows you to go between normal, sport, mountain, and hold. Now, I'm not going to go over these. I've done it before in the past. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in hold for Robert. So he has, I've been driving it down the road here, and I'm showing, I think 32 miles of estimated range right now. So yeah, I mean, look, this is the exit I get off every day coming in here. Usually have my coffee right here. I'll take my last swig of coffee. And next stop is saying goodbye. So good little car. I will miss you. I really will. This section of road that I'm coming up to right now is probably one of the bumpiest sections of roads. And I remember when I had my Lucid Air Grand Touring on this road, and the back panel was rattling like crazy. It drove me crazy. They fixed it ultimately, but so this car though, I don't have any rattles in this car at all. At low speed inside parking garages with the windows down, I do hear a noise in the back, but you don't hear it when the windows are up and you're cruising down the road. It's not bad. I think that's the 144,000 mile noise. Technically, it's what it's called. It deserves to have a few noises at 145,527 miles on it. But you'll see in a second here when I go down this section of the road that it's smooth. It's a very practical car as well. 4-door. The ELR was great. It was a little bit quicker the way they had that thing tuned, but and it was a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous car.
but it wasn't practical to get in and out of it. The doors were very wide. All right, here we go. And all right, let the bumps begin, right? Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, it's actually a relatively firm ride, even though it's got 17-inch wheels. But I've owned way more expensive cars that handle that section of road right back there. Way worse. So anyway, yeah, man, coming up to I only have 2 more stoplights and then I'm saying goodbye. But this bump right here, when you hit it at speed, this one's a fun one. Up and over. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. All right, let's go. Here we go. And yeah. Anyway.
All right, so what I thought I would do is ask Robert to come on camera. He was willing to do it. I don't know if he knows what he's getting into here, but all kidding aside, we've become friends over the last few months. When I first said that I was going to be selling this car, he pounced on it. He was the first one that came back, and he's true to his word. He's here today to pick it up. He just did a test drive. You saw him driving it around, and he said green light. So what I'd love to do, though, is hear his thoughts, a little bit about him. Is he an EV guy? Is he not an EV guy? Has he ever had a Volt before? Kind of a cool story. So let's turn the camera around and talk to Robert. All right, you know what? We decided to get away from that dark and dingy parking garage, and look where we are down here, Harbor Point. Beautiful spot here. And here we've got the new owner. He's officially the owner, Robert, and his lovely wife, Michelle. I don't know how you got her, Robert. I mean, you know, that's that you must reveal your secret. But so listen, let me hear your story about your EV, sort of what you've got and why you're excited about this Volt. All right, so Robert, Michelle, thank you so much for driving up from Jersey for this, and congrats on the new Chevy Volt. That's now known. I'm like kind of sad here, you know, but yeah. So let me hear your story as far as what you're driving and how you made the leap over to EVs.
Okay, great. So currently we own a Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus and a 2023 4680 Model Y. My wife drives, and we're basically, you know, 2-car EV family, now a 3-car if you add this in. And we purchased this to have for our son to take back and forth to college, and for our youngest daughter to use too as well. And like I said, we started in the EV journey started back in 2013 when I had a Chevy. A Toyota Prius plug-in, which only had 13 miles of electric range. But having a short range got me into the EV journey, knowing more to understand more about how the technology.
So wait, back then, was that Prius? That wasn't a plug-in Prius.
That was plug-in Prius.
Oh, it was. Interesting.
13 miles. So
13 miles.
My journey was to get over 14 to accomplish it.
And would you be able to lock that out so you could actually drive pure EV?
Yes,
or when you gave it the beans with the engine kick on?
Only if you gave it the beans, or it was really cool.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So that was my first EV. And then I went to a second generation Chevy Volt afterwards for more rear seat room and longer range. That time they had seating for 5, so we have a family of 5. We're able to fit the kids in it. and we had that for a few years. My first one actually got in a major car accident. A lady actually hit me, a van, doing 40 miles an hour with my two daughters in the car.
Really?
The car spun around. I hit it twice, and the car didn't flip.
Huh.
And the police officer says, "You're very fortunate you had a EV when the weight of the EV didn't flip, and that van hit it." So after that, my second replacement was a Chevy Volt 2017 LT.
And the first one you had was a Gen 2 as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the range on that was what? Higher than 38, right?
52.
52. Okay, got it.
Like I said, being an EV owner and having a low, my Toyota Prius, I was able to milk out 80 miles if I drove city streets.
Yeah.
So I knew about being conservative and having all that. And that's something you want to try. Now owning a pure EV, it kind of lacks all that, but you still have to be conservative when it comes to location where you're charging and where you're planning your road trips. But right now with newer EVs, it's very seamless. I mean, she can tell you how many trips we did.
Oh, we've taken many trips with the Tesla. We've gone to everywhere from Pompano Beach, Florida, to Canada, to Toronto, Uncasville, Connecticut.
Oh, you went up to Mohegan.
Oh,
Yeah.
For Bruce.
Oh, for Bruce, nice.
Of course.
Oh, that's so cool.
And Maine too.
And Maine, we went to Maine, and we went to Nashville.
These are all my spots.
Oh,
Yeah, I love it.
Nashville was a trip.
Oh, you know, that's one town I haven't gone to yet, Nashville.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Oh, JBJ's Nashville is open. John Bon Jovi's new.
That's so cool.
You gotta check that out. I want to check that out.
Yeah, I know. Garth, I think, opened the place.
Garth's bar was beautiful.
Yeah, I want to go there.
We liked Blake's bar. We liked Old Red. It was the food was very good.
Very cool. That's just extra for our viewers. Yeah, a little bonus extra.
And when you go on trips like we plan, we always plan for hotels that have level 2 charging. It's a must.
Yeah.
If you're going on a trip. It just makes it very convenient.
Yeah.
I think one place in Ohio, the hotel next to it had.
Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, the hotel didn't have it, but its sister one had it, so I had to go in the middle of the night and run over to take my plug in my 3 and bring it back next day.
And do you carry an adapter just in
Yes,
case?
I do.
You do. That's a smart.
So
Because
you need
I remember I was on one road trip and my daughter Katie, she sent me to this place, booked me at this hotel. I get there and I think I was driving an Ioniq 5 at the time or something like that.
Right.
And of course it was a Tesla wall charger. And I was like,
right,
oh,
right.
how amateur of me. I didn't carry that. Now you also, Michelle, you had an Ioniq 5 as well, right?
I did.
Well, what happened to that one?
I got T-boned.
Oh man.
I was,
Remind me to not go in a car with you guys.
I was making a left. I don't know where he came from to this day, but the car protected me. The entire it was smashed in on the driver's
battery
side.
savers.
The battery
Right,
saving.
right. Well, no, that's listen. The structural rigidity of these cars because of the battery are just amazing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, but I think I saw a tweet from you saying you ordered a Rivian. What the heck's that all about?
Well, I have.
You're going off brand here? What's
Yes.
And wait, was this not known until now, or did
No,
Michelle?
I had this she knows I put a reservation in for it.
Right.
So, like I said,
He was so happy.
For an R1T or S?
the small one.
For the new one.
The new one.
Okay,
And the
got
reason
it.
why is we like to keep our cars in the garage, and I like to have room so I can walk around and have them in there. So we
Right.
charge at home, and so that was the perfect. I guess our next EV journey would be Rivian, and it also uses the Tesla network.
Right. Very
So,
very cool.
And I've seen some of the reviews of Kyle using it and having good experience with
Yeah.
it. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We charge after 9 o'clock. Tell him why.
we have a charging rate. So our utility has a discount. So we're on an EV program through utility where I pay 9 cents a kilowatt hour after 9 p.m. till 6 a.m. and then all weekends.
That's
So
cheap.
we schedule all of our charging there after
Right.
that time
Yeah,
period.
have you gone solar yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
My buddy Rob, who was on the trip to Europe with us, he has a
Yes.
great setup in his house on Long Island.
I'm very impressed with the Tesla solar
Yeah,
panels, but I don't want
you know what? Those
I
are
know.
really expensive.
Exactly.
And I'm not so sure.
Or if I have 10 acres of property put in the fields,
Yeah,
I would do that.
He went with the Tesla system, and he was very impressed with.
Right.
And not only that, but like the app and everything they use with that.
Uh-huh.
All right, so now let's shift gears back to the Volt,
Mhm.
the mighty Volt, as
Yes.
I call it. Who is going to be the beneficiary of
So my
this?
son is going to be the primary beneficiary of this vehicle,
Okay,
and he's going to be taking this. Right now, he's going to be living on campus for the first year, but coming home, for the weekends, and possibly even use it while he's parked at campus. They have EV charging at the campus, so he can utilize the level 2 charging they have at the college in New Jersey. So
right. But the use case of a plug-in hybrid for someone that is maybe just thinking about going electric, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good transition. I mean, you learn to adapt. You're learning how to be conservative when it comes to your driving habits because of EVs. Dave, temperature, climate, all the atmosphere can affect your range.
Right.
So having this as a baseline to know will actually give you confidence, or at least give you satisfaction if you can actually switch to the EV.
Yeah.
So you know from all that.
Well, listen, very good luck. What's your son's name?
Joseph.
Joseph, listen, good luck with your new car. I trust you. I mean, Robert, when you saw this thing, you were like, I mean, from 30 feet away, it looks brand new.
Nicer than my 2019 model.
I mean, yeah, it's this car. Like when I first saw it, it just really was.
And my son and my daughter are the good drivers. My Model 3's been driven by my son. It's still one piece.
Yeah.
So I'm confident.
There she is. Look at her doing the modeling thing. I like it. Yeah. Look at you, Michelle. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Joseph, you're a one lucky dude. First of all, because you got this beautiful Volt, but most importantly, you got awesome parents. You really do. I mean, seriously, do not underestimate the power of parents. You hearing that, Kyle? All right. So anyway, all right. So with that, thanks again, everyone, for watching another episode of Out of Spec Dave. We'll catch you on the next one, and good luck with the car.
Yeah.
Joseph, I want some updates as this thing goes down the road.
6-month update.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Take care now.
You too.
Bye-bye.